Yo, what is up guys? Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So Ricardo Sandoval knocks out Jay Harris in the 8th round of their flyweight IBF title eliminator fight. Now this fight actually was pretty fun to watch, relatively competitive throughout, but I have to say, I always felt that Ricardo Sandoval was a step ahead of Jay Harris throughout this fight. It was one of those fights which was competitive, but to me it was clear who was in control. The commentary team were making out that it was a super close fight and yeah, that it could be kind of like a real tight fight. I completely disagreed. Again, it was competitive, but to me Sandoval was clearly up in this fight. But nevertheless, early on in this fight, Ricardo Sandoval started really well in my opinion. Both guys in the first couple of rounds were kind of boxing from range, utilising their jab, and both guys were actually landing with their jab, but to me Sandoval's jab was more efficient, it was harder, and it was more accurate. Sandoval was also doing a good job of finding that left hook to the body and some good overhand rights to the head. Jay Harris himself was landing some good straight punches, but to me the first couple of rounds were clear Ricardo Sandoval rounds. He was landing the better shots, the harder shots, the more accurate shots, and to me he won those first 2 rounds clearly. Rounds 3 and rounds 4 were actually quite competitive. Sandoval didn't really change his style, to be honest. He was just being nice and composed, nice and relaxed, and he was picking some real good single shots, good jabs to the head, left hooks to the body, right hands to the head as well. And Jay Harris was being more aggressive in rounds 3 and rounds 4, and he was having success himself, landing some nice combinations, scoring with his own jab, landing some left hooks to the head as well, and landing a couple of good shoeshine combinations here and there. Rounds 3 and rounds 4 were very close. I personally scored round 3 to Sandoval and round 4 to Jay Harris, but they were close rounds. After the 4th round though, I felt that Sandoval started to apply a bit more forward momentum and started to apply a bit more pressure. He realised that not only was the left hook to the body working, but he was actually starting to find that left hook to the head. Jay Harris has this kind of like side-on profile, almost like a kind of like a Philly shell type of stance. And, as a result of that, he was open to the left hook, and Sandoval realised that basically from round 5 onwards, and he was starting to tag Jay Harris with the left hook to the head. And, once again, Sandoval was doing some real good work to the body. And to me, he was just picking the better shots. And, after the 4th round, I never gave Jay Harris another round, to be honest. I only gave Jay Harris 1 round in this fight. But again, nevertheless, I have to say, Jay Harris was competitive throughout. He kept on trying. He was landing shots. He was landing some nice combinations here and there, but his work just didn't have the same effect as Sandoval's work, to be honest. His shots didn't have the same sort of power, the same accuracy, the same crisp technique. I was just preferring Sandoval's work. And, after the 5th round, I felt that Sandoval was starting to apply more pressure. He was starting to chop Jay Harris down. He was going to the body even more. And you could tell that Jay Harris, his legs were starting to go in terms of his movement, and he was standing in front of Sandoval a lot more. While he was doing that, he was throwing combinations, he was throwing back, but what he was receiving in return was just a lot more effective. And, I think it was round 6, Jay Harris kind of stumbled Sandoval, but to me that was a foot placement thing, a balance issue more so than he was actually hurt. And also in that round, Jay Harris had the same problem, where he got caught with the shot, and Jay Harris's legs were a bit tangled, so both guys appeared to have stumbled in round 6, but both times to me, it was just balance issues. And the fight ended in round 8. Basically, there was a little exchange, and Sandoval caught Jay Harris with I believe a left hook to the body, a real short, sharp left hook. Jay Harris went down, hurt by the shot. Jay Harris beats the count, but Sandoval jumps on him, goes back down to the body, and eventually catches Jay Harris with another left hook to the body. This time Jay Harris stayed down and couldn't beat the count. In my opinion, this was a very good performance by Ricardo Sandoval. Bear in mind, Jay Harris fought Julio Cesar Martinez a little while ago, and he went the distance with Martinez and gave Martinez a couple of problems here and there, to be honest. But I felt Ricardo Sandoval did a better job than Julio Cesar Martinez. For a 22-year-old, I felt Sandoval showed great composure. He showed good balance throughout this fight. Nice punch technique, nice accuracy, a good boxing acumen. Actually, he really impressed me. And for 22 years old, he's only going to get better. So in the flyweight division, keep an eye out on Ricardo Sandoval. I like what I see. I like his style. I like his technique. Very, very interesting fighter to watch. A good fighter to watch. And a guy who's going to get better. He is now an IBF mandatory at flyweight. I believe the IBF actually have 2 mandatories. I think there's a guy ahead of Sandoval right now to get his mandatory shot. But nevertheless, Sandoval is now in a really good position. And he could fight Sonny Edwards in the foreseeable future. So, yeah, that'll be a good fight. From what I saw of Sandoval, very talented fighter. And a guy who's only going to get better at 22 years old. So Sonny Edwards versus Ricardo Sandoval could be a very good fight in the near future. Not really sure how I feel about that fight in terms of who I would pick. I was never really high on Sonny Edwards, to tell you the truth, but his performance against Murati Mutalane really proved me wrong. And Sonny Edwards is growing on me as a fighter. Edwards is certainly a harder fight than Jay Harris, so we'll see what goes on with that. But Ricardo Sandoval, definitely a good prospect in the flyweight division. Share your thoughts below. Been your guy Del Boy. Peace.